It was a beautiful starry night. Celestia was famished and she had a craving for some delicious cake. But not just any kind of cake. She was craving some chocolate cake. The best kind of cake in Equestria. Maybe even the universe. Today had been quite the bother. Pointless meetings with the elite ponies coming with their problems that could easily be fixed. And then there was true blue blood. Nothing much to say there. So tonight, she would spoil herself with some tasty treat all for herself. Ooh, what I could get for some tasty of this chocolate cake. This cake shall be mine and mine alone. No one shall take my cake. After all, I am the princess, and royalty shall be served cake. Some historical queen from the other world would say, let them eat cake. Celestia was very excited. A cake all to herself. She earned this, and she would stop at nothing to have this. She had been walking for some time now, and she was determined to make it to her destination, the royal kitchen. There had been a magical place lied in her reason for staying up. Normally she'd be in bed in her chambers, reading a nice book before going to sleep. But she had a craving that she could not ignore, no matter how hard she tried. So she gave in, and here she is now. Here I am in the kitchen, but where is the cake? Maybe I should find some ingredients to make this cake. No baker like Pinkie Pie, but I will do my best, Celestia said with confidence. She searched and said for ingredients, and she checked the cupboards, the cabinets, the big pantry, the oven. For some reason, she couldn't find any. She looked around in confusion. How this big kitchen had no ingredients for cake. Cake! The reason she came here. The very reason she did not go to sleep for. How was there nothing? What? There's usually a bunch of ingredients for a cake, even some recipes and cookbooks, but everything is empty. Why is this happening at a time like this? I do not know what to do. I'm starving and this craving will not go away. I need to eat this cake so bad. She looked at it one more time, just to make sure she wasn't going crazy. Nope, this kitchen had nothing. Disappointed, she walked out of the kitchen and just wandered. She didn't have a destination to go this time. She just wandered. As she wandered, she ended up in the empty throne room. She looked up at her chair and questioned herself on whether or not she would just sit there and mope. But before she could even answer her own question, her nostrils picked up a familiar scent. A very familiar scent. She followed her nose to the scent, and there she was. A beautiful and mouth-watering moist chocolate cake. It was just there in the middle of the empty throne room. It looked so delicious. It was triple-layered cake with chocolate-covered strawberries, some chocolate fudge drizzled all over it, and some chocolate shavings on top of it as well. It was amazing looking. Wow, never I had imagined that my craving would soon come to me all on its own. Celestia started to walk to the amazing looking cake. This looks and smells so irresistible. I can't wait to devour this cake myself. Come to Mama, Celestia, my little cake. I want you in my belly. As she got closer, she could also see there was a plate and fork next to her as well. This was definitely worth staying up. She was about to reach for it when suddenly, the room shook like it was about to collapse. She almost lost her balance but kept her footing. Or kept her from hoofing. Whatever, it didn't felt so good. Was that an earthquake? No, much more than an earthquake. It felt like something caused of what just happened right now. Wait, a cloud of dust is on the other side of the cake. A crater was formed in the cloud of dust. One of the cracks went between the cake. The cake! Whatever caused this ruined the cake she was about to eat. What in the name of Equestria was that? I was about to eat this cake and it seems like a war zone just happened. Shall I call my army to see what the cause of this? I worry my castle might fall apart. That would be a very big mistake for you, Celestia. Came a new voice. She did not recognize that voice. It was cold and demonic. Whoever that voice definitely was not friendly. The dust finally cleared from a loud crash, only to reveal another cloud of dust. Wait a minute. Her eyes just opened for a minute. Red eyes. That's no cloud. That's something else. It's staring at her with a look of hatred and anger. What is that thing? Who and what are you? And what do you want with me? And why you have damaged the castle if you're going to hurt me and my subjects? I'll call over the main 6 to take care of you. I will not take this lightly. The cloud thing only laughed. Figures you'd call for your servants to deal with your problems. Afraid to deal with them yourself, it said with a visible smirk. Hold on, that was a sharp-looking teeth she just saw. She just shook her head, and that didn't matter. It just insulted her and her subjects. I'm not afraid to deal with you myself. I can defend myself, but that is only the last resort. I usually do not harm any creature unless they give me a reason to do so. It didn't look fazed by her words. What it's doing now. What are those claws? It has claws too. What is that thing? Okay, whatever this is, it's definitely hostile. How very tempting. We are not here for you, nor your subjects. No, we are here for that. It pointed at the cake. The thing that crashed in her castle just for the cake. Why do you have a hungry look in your eyes? Is that cake? No, you shall not have it. The cake is mine and mine alone. I will devour it if I have to. You will not take it from... Celestia was launched away several feet away. What was that? It felt like something pushed her with some kind of force. She didn't feel any magic. She just didn't detect any magic use. She looked up at the cloud thing and noticed its right claw has extended. A red aurora surrounding it. Did it do that? Was that you? I didn't detect any magic. What did you do to me? Celestia wondered. If you're thinking of taking that cake, you're dreaming. It'll be ours to devour, get in our way, and we will kill you, it said with venom in its voice, ignoring Celestia's question. Wait, kill this thing is really hostile. She had to do something. Not like the things can actually hurt her. Sure, what weird force knocked her down, but it didn't hurt her. And this thing thinks it could kill her? No way! She was immortal. Whatever this thing was has no idea what it signed itself into. Without hesitating, she fired a power of magic blast towards the strange cloud. It trailed in a perfect line. The blast grew in size, and the blast she fired punctured a big hole in the wall. Oops, maybe she overdid it. Then again, it did threaten her, and it was just after her cake. She couldn't take any chances. She had to protect her cake, and she had to protect her subjects. She had to protect her kingdom. But more importantly, she had to protect her cake. Where were you aiming at, Slelly? That came from behind her. She quickly turned around, only to met with a claw to the face, and she went launching again, crashing into a nearby wall. That actually hurt a lot. She felt her face in her hoof, then brought it to a view. But blood! She was bleeding? But how? What did it do? She only got scratched. She's been scratched before, but never bleed. How is this? Am I bleeding? From a scratch, no less. No matter, I shall rely on the different tactics now. I may have to contact the main six. You may as well arrange their funeral. We'll just kill them too. To answer your confusion, our claws are special, and we harm whatever we wish to harm. Even you saw called immortal. This stunned Celestia. Insulted again. Again it threatened her subjects too. She need to step up her game. You will not stop us from getting this cake. If we destroy this entire castle to do so, then so be it. It threatened. Its eyes started to glow and let out a horrifying roar. Okay, seriously, what is that thing? We are Crimson, and that cake will be ours. I'll just pretend that it didn't answer my unintentional question. It then brings its right claw behind its back and lunges forward towards Celestia's direction. A wave of crimson energy followed its path as it was closing in fast. From wasting no time, Celestia flies up in the air, barely dodging the attack. The red energy wave shattered the wall she slammed against, extending her wings as she fired back. Using her magic and with the strong flap of her wings, she fired a powerful fire blast. The cloud thing named Crimson sees the oncoming blast approaching, but there is no time to dodge out of its way, bracing itself as its claws close and its face awaited for the impact. A direct hit. That thing couldn't stand a chance. She did it. She won. She didn't want to do this, but it left her no choice. Floating down, she landed near the smoke left her magic fire blast. From whatever that thing was, it could have been known how powerful she was. How dare it try to steal her cake away from her, threaten her and her subjects, injure her, and insults her skills and leadership. Most importantly, try to steal her cake. But it matters not. She was victorious. The cake is hers finally. That delicious triple chocolate cake was all hers to take. At least she'd fulfill her craving. She looked towards the cake that was still in the center of the beaten throne room. She walked up towards her prize. As she walked, she also looked around the throne room. It was pretty beaten up. Shattered glass from some of the windows, cracks in the middle of the room. Pillars had done some damage as well, a few cracks on them too. Come to think of it, why hadn't any guards shown up? Sure, the battle was short, but you'd even think Earth was shaking crash would draw some attention? Even she was knocked to the wall by a cheap sneak attack, mind you. No one had showed up to investigate the disturbance. Oh well, she got some ponies to fix up this place. She was close to her prize now. She could already taste the moist chocolate treat already. Oh, my little chocolate cake, you will soon be mine. Shh, shh. It's okay. The bad cloud is gone. You're safe now. Mama Celestia's here, Celestia said in a very motherly tone. She stood over the cake now, even with the crack between the plates rested upon. It still kept its perfect appearance, as if it were untouchable. Of course it wasn't true. Reaching down to grab the plate that still lay next to the cake, she almost thought she would fall in love with it if she kept looking at its beauty. Chaos Torrent! A crimson-red beam hit Celestia from behind. That came from the smoke Celestia shot with her magic attack. Celestia got hit hard, sending her flying again. She tumbled a few times before coming to a stop several meters away. No, she was so close. What had just happened? That was a good shot, Sally, I'll admit. That it hurt a lot. However, I can just hit just as hard too. That voice? No way. Celestia grunted while trying to stand up. It was right. That beam did hurt a lot, but how? She hit that thing with full force and it was still standing? We are not an it. We are a he. Right, he. He was still standing. Who in the hay are you talking about, you cloud thing? I'm so confused, she said with confusion. He struck her with some beam, congratulated her magic attack, then shouted at the ceiling. It doesn't matter for the record. I am no cloud. I am a mist, and like I said before, I will have this cake, even if I have to kill you for it, because in the end it will be mine, he said, while striking a fighting pose, claws crossing one another in front of his middle. Well, if you don't want to play nice, we have never played nice to begin with, you foolish princess. Well, it seems like I have no other choice but to fight for this cake. Oh well, I may as well call the main 6 if I need them, she said with seriousness in her eyes. You're pathetic. You'd rather call those fleshlings to fight your battle for you than fight us yourself. You may as well hand over your title as Protector of Equestria to them, because it's them doing all the work. I always knew you were weak, he said with mockery. I am more than capable of fighting myself. As I just said, I'll contact them. If I'm too exhausted to fight, I am definitely giving it my all. I am not weak. I'll show you just how strong I am. I will give you all if I have to, she said with anger in her voice. All I hear is your excuses for weakness. Please, you lost to a shape-shifting bug queen. A bug queen! You think yourself as strong? Then prove it. Face me or I'll admit it was true, he challenged. I'll prove to you that you were not said true about me. This time I have a backup plan. I'm going to contact the main 6 to fight alongside me. I know that wouldn't be a fair fight, but it seems like I've outsmarted. I'm about to do that very shortly, she challenged as well. He just laughed. You just proved my point. You can't fool me, Celestia. You're afraid, and the wound on your face, that blast you took from us, as you know we can hurt you, even kill you. You need backup? Too bad, though. As much as I love to rip the innards of the main 6, too, I am only here for this chocolate cake. But you're in the way by the time they even got close to the castle. You would have already fallen by your claws, he said, not convinced by Celestia's words. He slowly approached Celestia as she struggled to keep her hoofing. He was right. She was a little afraid. The scratch on her face still hurt and stung, and that blast that he shot seared back. He's right. I am a bit of a frightened by this thing of strange abilities, and how he managed to actually harm me. But I can't let him know that. I must stall him long enough for him to get there, she thought to herself. Oh really? You're going to stall for your backup to arrive? Like I said, pathetic, weak, afraid. You're nothing but a waste of life. No matter, I'll be ending very shortly, he said with cruelty. What? How did he? What the? How? You could read my thoughts? What are you? I seriously cannot believe this is happening, Celestia said, completely caught off guard by this new technique. He could read minds too. What in Equestria was this thing? Claws, sharp teeth, red glowing eyes, actually being able to harm Celestia? Taking a blast of her powerful magic, now mind reading. What else can he do? I can hear you too, Moral. I'm starting to get annoyed with you too. What? You can hear me too? Indeed, unless you want me to take care of you too. I suggest you choose your words carefully. You can do that? Ow, what the heck just hit me? That was us. What did you do? I gave you a small sample of our power. Care for another? No, thank you. You proved your point. Good, now continue. Right, Celestia was just staring at him. Crimson! Right, Crimson, since Celestia was just staring at Crimson. He was talking to some pony. She looked up, only to be seen by the ceiling yet again. Yet there was a strange being there too. Confused by this, she asked, why are you talking to the ceiling? It's unusual for some ponies to do that besides Pinkie Pie. You wouldn't understand, nor you would believe us if we told you. But enough talk. Crimson shot his right claw towards Celestia and fired a fiery beam towards her direction. Thinking fast, she rolled out of the way, landing on her belly. The beam hit the wall behind her, leaving a big scorch mark. With wide eyes, she flew up and tried to get some distance from this monster. Have at you! Crimson gave chase. Celestia yelped and flew as fast as she could away from him. She was all flying around in the throne room, dipping and dodging every blast he fired at her. She fired back with her magic, but he too dipped and dodged everything she fired. She focused on one of her shots and aimed it directly at him. She then fired once more with complete accuracy. Only to have it deflected, Crimson swatted the magic beam like it was a bother. It's getting closer. She needed to do something. She needed a new plan. It was now or never. Coming to a halt, she unleashed a powerful bright light, illuminating everything within its reach. Crimson stopped as a sudden flash of light hit his demonic eyes. Ah! He cried in pain, covered his eyes with his claws. Wasting no time, she shot herself up higher in the air and used as much magic as she could. She was surrounded by a golden glow, and her horn was forming an orange spear of powerful magic. She would not lose to this monster. She can't. Feel the power of the sun! And with that, she fired her orange spear of magic towards Crimson, and the spear looked very familiar to a mini supernova. And Crimson took a full force of it. The mini supernova hit him dead center in his midst body. Ah! He yelled in pain, plummeting to the ground with a hard crash, causing a small crater to form. A sudden burst of dust poofed away on contact of his crash. The blast used up a lot of Celestia's magic, but it worked. He's down, hopefully out. She looked at his motionless form. The monster was definitely a threat to her and her subjects. She had to take him down once and for all. Her magic is dangerously low. She'll need to get some rest soon as possible. Clean her wounds and take a nice long bath, and rest up good for the morning. Hard to believe that this monster only came for the cake. She looked at the cake once again, still lying in the middle of the room, somewhat untouched. Wow, that is the sturdy chocolate cake. Even the plate and fork was still there. While taking a look at the cake, Celestia questioned if she was even worth the trouble that it caused. Oh, who she was kidding, of course. It's the reason why she was there to begin with. Seeing that she finally won this time, she gently floated down to the chocolate cake. While doing so, she looked at Crimson's body once again, still seeing that he had not moved. Good, she'll deal with him later. She might take him to her highly guarded dungeon for sturdy, or whatever he truly was. Highly important after all. He was capable to actually harm her. She was very close to her cake once again, The scent of chocolate heaven hit her nose when she was within reach. "Oh, chocolate heaven, you're finally mine. I may have hurt you bad, but you will make it all better and worth it," she thought. Ah! Then suddenly another powerful force hit the dead center of her chest. "Yay!" Celestia yelled. She was sent flying once again, crashing against the wall on the other side. After a few seconds, she fell out of the wall and hit the ground in pain and agony. "That was pretty clever tactics, Selly. That did hurt a hell of a lot more than just your other one. But I don't think I'm out of the picture yet. I'm finishing this, and I will claim my prize," Crimson challenged. Celestia couldn't believe it. Twice she hit him with very powerful magic, and yet he still stands, floats? Whatever, he was still up. She could see him charging his claws with that red aurora, no doubt of getting ready for the final blow. His sharp, toothy grin just staring at her as she was shaking. Never she had felt the needed to fear death. She was immortal, so death never felt like a problem to her. But now this monster came in and charged in the instant. He could be bluffing about how he could really kill her, but the blood on her cheeks now made it hard to believe. "So how about it, Celestia? Let's say we finish this once and for all," he threatened. "This is it. It is really all for nothing." Slowly and painfully getting up, Celestia stood on all fours. Visibly shaking from this monster, was about to unleash everything at her. She had to counter him with whatever magic she had left in her. Charging up her horn and extending her wings wide and proud, she said, "Yes, monster, let's finish this." Both opponents stared at each other's eyes, with one bloodlust with another determination. Finally, they had charged at another, both launching their attacks closer and closer until they finally collided. When they came into contact with one another, both of them were locked in place, both attempting to power the other. They struggled and grunted as they tried to put more effort into their attacks. Celestia was able to push Crimson back a few inches, but he fought back and he was able to get the upper hand, pushing Celestia further back away. She had stopped him from going any further, and the struggling continued. The room had been shaking and cracking, all the while they kept on, trying to overpower each other. They stopped and sounded like someone was eating something from behind. They turned to see in the direction of who was eating sound, and they saw who it was, and she was eating. Standing there in the middle of their battle was Luna. She was eating the chocolate cake, the very same chocolate cake that they were fighting for. Too busy on each other to realize that Luna had entered the throne room. Luna was still eating the cake, and she looked at it with satisfaction. "Hello, sister," she said with a mouthful of cake. "We can't help but notice that loud noises and crashing coming from here, so we came to investigate. Then we saw this beautiful-looking cake, and just had to try it for ourselves. We must admit this is the best cake we've ever had in our lifetime." Celestia and Crimson just stared at Luna, dumbfounded in shock. All the effort while trying to claim that beautiful masterpiece, only to have been taken by Luna. Luna, on the other hand, had taken the last bite of the cake and noticed the look she was getting, not realized what she had stolen from them. "What?" What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.